I just heard some recent gaming news here. Let's see what we got here. What do we got? Oh shit, it's happening! Who could it be? SEGA. I'm loving the animation. Those are cute. Is that what you get in? Guitar truck game. Oh my god, my name's not Blake Felding! Blake's really awesome, dude! Oh, is that new character? One of the villains. Yes! 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 We're getting a new Streets of Rage! For the first time in over 20 years, we're getting it! Yes! Oh my god, I hate waking up to Monday mornings, but my god, this is the best news that I've woken up to! That is right, Streets of Rage is back! The iconic 90s side-scrolling beat-em-up from SEGA is getting the 4th installment. That's right, after 20 years, they're finally getting an installment in the series, turning it from a trilogy to a quadrilogy. From the developers of both Dotamu and Lizard Q, who made Wonder Boy, The Dragon's Trap, and Crush games that made Streets of Fury. From what I can tell, this is a spiritual successor here, as you can see the screenshot. Streets of Fury is more like Streets of Rage, but with real-life digitized characters that we've seen back in the midweight arcade games in the early 90s. Arcade classics such as like Narc and the rest of the Mortal Kombat games, and also Revolution X, and also the NBA Jam games that uses that engine. The trailer, which dropped today, features protagonists both Axel Stone and Blaze Fielding, no word on Anna Hunter yet, kicking ass into guitar-heavy soundtrack in a few separate city locales. The developers promise an exciting new story and gorgeous hand-drawn visuals, and seems to Stone and Fielding are back into their 2-decade mission to rid the city of crime. There is no release date yet, but it makes sense to expect both a continuation of the Rage story and a hell of a lot more things to punch. Now, my apologies if I messed up on most parts of the article that I read here, but nonetheless, I am so freaking happy that we're getting a new Streets of Rage. Thank you, SEGA, for making this happen, and also thank you for the developers that are being involved in this project. Dude, when I saw this news here, I just had major flashbacks of when I was playing the Sega Genesis here with my cousins back in the day, and they had both Streets of Rage 1 and 2. Yeah, like seriously, they had both of these games. And this is when I started gaming back in 1997 to 1998. I was like 5 to 6 years old. And when I first started playing this with my cousin, I swear, like, the gameplay was so awesome. The music was very awesome. I love house music. To me, the fun really started when Streets of Rage 2 came out the next year. This one came out the following year, the same year that I was born, so I was like 3 to 6 months younger. But nevertheless, I digress. It's like, I remember playing these games with my cousin, and most of the times I played these with my friends. And it was during the time there, I was still playing the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo at the same time when the PlayStation 1, the Nintendo 64, and the Sega Saturn came out. So I was still in the 16-bit part of gaming, while everybody else was in the 32-bit and 64-bit part of the era. You know, still in the 2D and trying to still going on to 3D here. You get what I'm saying here. But that's besides the point. The point here on this video is that this is the kind of games that I wanted to see here, or the games I wanted to play, the beat 'em up 2D side scroller type of beat 'em up games here, like Streets of Rage, Final Fight here, but particularly in Streets of Rage, like, the music is fun, the gameplay is awesome, the characters are great, the setting is so freaking awesome here. While I was playing the first game, the second game, it really kicked ass here. It felt like it upped the ante here. It stepped up. I mean, the graphics look awesome, the formula is still the same, you know, beat up bad guys in the middle of the streets here and whatnot. There were 2 new characters they introduced. I mean, there's even a kid wearing rollerblades and whatnot. Like, I used to love playing that kid, but I also love playing as Blaze. She's so awesome. Also, the one thing that I really love the most about the Streets of Rage series is the music. The soundtrack. I freaking love house music. I like techno music. I like the real kind of electronic music, not the mainstream EDM that we get used to every day, which is total bullshit, by the way. And I love Yuzo Koshiro and his composing in this series. Hands freaking down here. They need to bring back Yuzo Koshiro in the new Streets of Rage game. For real. They have to. They have to. Now, believe it or not, there was supposed to be a Streets of Rage 4 for the Sega Saturn, and it didn't even came out for the Saturn here. Actually, it came out. It would have the same kind of graphics, the same formula, but this time it came under a new name called Fighting Force. And actually, I remembered playing Fighting Force here with my stepfather, my little sister's actual father. Yeah, we rented it at a Blockbuster, and we played that game for hours and hours and hours. I was like 8 at the time when I played it. And it sucks that like Sega Saturn didn't have their own Streets of Rage here, which kind of sucks here. I would love to see Streets of Rage in 3D in the 32-bit console, but due to the complications of the Saturn and it was failing commercially, it kind of really sucked here. And there were also some 3D reboots that I've seen here. It would have been nice if I seen it, but nevertheless, I'm happy to see Streets of Rage 4 back in its roots, and I can't wait to get my hands on it when it first comes out. Anyway, give this video a thumbs up, comment, and definitely subscribe. This is HEX signing out. Have a good one.